The Big Bang Theory has made a lasting impression on television history with its eccentric characters and science-filled humor. Although Sheldon's oddities and Penny's endearing humor have made millions of fans chuckle, most viewers are unaware of the fascinating behind-the-scenes nuances. Did you know that actual physicists praised the show for its scientific accuracy, or that there were many unexpected turns in the cast's path to fame? These little-known details provide fresh insight into the series and highlight the amount of effort and imagination that went into creating a cultural sensation. Stay tuned as we investigate truths that will alter your perspective on the Big Bang Theory and reveal the secrets behind the laughter. Sheldon's favorite Soft Kitty song. Do you recall Sheldon's favorite lullaby, Soft Kitty? This soothing song has historical roots and is more than simply a peculiar aspect of his personality. The Australian children's song, Warm Kitty, which gained popularity in the 1930s, inspired the song. Initially written to calm youngsters, its straightforward yet calming lyrics were ideal for Sheldon's vulnerable moments. Amazingly, this song has evolved beyond its initial intent to become a cultural icon for Big Bang Theory fans. It has been covered in fan interpretations, sung in innumerable languages, and even appeared on products. Soft Kitty had become a classic thanks to Sheldon's mother singing it to him when he was ill, and Penny's hilarious attempts to mimic it. Beyond the humor, it gives Sheldon's usually nuanced personality a charming, innocent undertone. Who would have imagined a sitcom could make an Australian nursery rhyme a worldwide sensation? Wolowitz and Penny's peculiar dynamic. Despite being the group's self-described ladies' man, Howard Wolowitz has a funny and unexpected aspect to his relationship with Penny. He is the only major male cast member who hasn't seen her nude during the entire show, even though he was the first to flirt with her. This interesting tidbit emphasizes Howard's awkward and frequently unsuccessful romantic endeavors before marrying Bernadette. Wolowitz's early infatuation with Penny is a source of unending amusement, complete with corny pickup lines and extravagant gestures. His actions, however, continue to leave Penny comically unimpressed. In the meantime, this unwritten line with Penny is broken by Leonard, Sheldon, and even Raj in unintentional or situational ways. Howard is more charming and less predatory because he is not included in this list. His transformation from flirt to loyal husband enhances the warmth and humor of this recurring joke. Leonard's glasses, a clear secret. Did you know that Leonard Hofstadter's trademark glasses are always devoid of lenses, an essential component of his nerdy physicist persona? Yes, all of Johnny Galecki's eyewear on the show is made of plastic. There isn't any glass. What's up with the fake frames? As it turns out, using genuine lenses could interfere with filming because they produce distracting glare and reflections under the studio lights. In addition to avoiding technical difficulties, this ingenious solution maintains the visual coherence of Leonard's character. Because of this fascinating aspect, fans value the show's attention to character design and pragmatism. Leonard's glasses are now seen as a sign of his brilliance and quirky personality. They have a minor but significant role in who he is, much like Sheldon's Bazinga shirts or the sweater vests that Raj owns. Therefore, remember that Leonard's famous eyewear is all about style and nothing about substance the next time you watch. Penny's trusty purse. More than simply a piece of clothing, Penny's purse is nearly her body. Since season 1, she has carried this beloved handbag with her, appearing in numerous episodes. Its constant presence reflects Penny's sensible, grounded demeanor in the middle of her companions' hectic lives. Her haircut and outfit change throughout the series, but her bond with this reliable pocketbook doesn't. According to fan speculation, the bag represents Penny's journey, bringing memories of her early years as a struggling actress and her development into a prosperous pharmaceutical representative and Leonard's wife. Behind the scenes, this continuity reflects Penny's pragmatic yet sensitive side and displays a unique level of costume department attention to detail. The purse becomes nearly as iconic as her Cheesecake Factory attire, where she is using it to carry around scripts, snacks, or other trinkets. It's a small but significant gesture to Penny's development over time. Jim Parsons' audition. Jim Parsons' depiction of Sheldon Cooper is legendary. But did you know he had an equally impressive journey to get the part? Parsons' performance during his audition was so captivating that Chuck Lorre, the series co-creator, insisted on a follow-up. Lorre wanted to be sure that the genius he saw wasn't an isolated incident. Not at all. Spoiler alert. Parsons solidified his role as Sheldon with yet another faultless performance. This choice was crucial because Parsons' eccentric demeanor and brilliant comedic timing became the program's focal point. It's interesting to note that during his audition, Parsons said in interviews that he didn't fully comprehend any technical language in the screenplay. However, he stood out for his genuine portrayal of Sheldon's unconventional intellect. Sheldon became a cultural phenomenon after Parsons won many Emmy Awards for the part, demonstrating that sometimes a flawless casting choice may alter the course of television history. Jim Parsons' real-life interests. Sheldon Cooper, a huge fan of Star Trek and Doctor Who on The Big Bang Theory, frequently quotes and alludes to the complex minutiae of these sci-fi classics. Ironically, Sheldon's actor, Jim Parsons, has never seen either of these shows. Parsons acknowledges that although he values their cultural significance, he has other interests. This difference between the character and the actor highlights Parsons' extraordinary ability to inhabit a part. He authentically and enthusiastically captures Sheldon's compulsive love for these series, even if he is not a sci-fi fan. Parsons relied on careful script preparation behind the scenes to perform lines concerning warp drives and Daleks with unbelievable skill. This gap between fact and fiction highlights the appreciation for Parsons' performance. Since Parsons made Sheldon into one of the most enduring characters in television history, it serves as a reminder that excellent acting transcends personal tastes. Mayim Bialik's real-life genius. Did you know that Mayim Bialik, the actress who plays Amy Farrah Fowler on the program, is also a real-life neurobiologist? That's correct. Bialik is the most intelligent cast member of The Big Bang Theory, having earned a Ph.D. in neuroscience from UCLA. Since Bialik frequently draws on her knowledge to guarantee scientific truth in her discourse, her academic background lends an authentic touch to Amy's character. The way Bialik went from being a child star on Blossom to becoming a successful scientist and then returning to acting is even more remarkable. Fans connect her with unique experience, especially young women motivated by her accomplishments in STEM professions. Speaking at events and writing about her experiences, Bialik advocates for science education off-screen. She is a real-life role model who embodies intelligence and charm due to her multiple occupations as an actor and scientist. Raj's selective muteness. One of Raj Kuthrapalli's most amusing yet realistic peculiarities is his inability to communicate with women until intoxicated. The executive producer, Bill Prady's real-life co-worker from his days at a computer business, inspired this distinctive character trait. Therefore, it's not wholly made up. The anonymous co-worker found engaging with women in social settings challenging, unless he had had a few drinks to relax. This was translated into Raj's selective mutism, which gave the character a humorous yet factual quality that resonated with everyone who has experienced social anxiety. Raj's struggle to overcome this obstacle eventually develops into a touching story highlighting his development. Themes of vulnerability and self-acceptance are explored via Raj's experiences, which range from using alcohol as a crutch to progressively learning to converse sober. His mutism adds a deeper dimension to his personality, even though it frequently results in amusing occasions, such as his inadvertently humorous remarks while intoxicated. It serves as a subliminal reminder of the complexity of laughing. Chuck Lorre's Vanity Cards. You have probably seen a glimpse of Chuck Lorre's renowned Vanity Cards if you have noticed the brief textual flashes after each show. These are mini essays, reflections, and tales directly from the show's author. They are more than just production credits. Lorre has used these cards to express personal grievances, life reflections, and amusing ideas. Because the cards are so well-liked, people frequently stop using their devices to read them, making them a kind of treasure hunt. Viewers have gained a unique understanding of Lorre's creative process as he discussed various subjects throughout the years, from Hollywood oddities to philosophical reflections. While some cards have been humorous and full of dry humor, Others have been poignant and have addressed real-life situations. They are now a defining characteristic of Laurie's work, showing up in his other shows, such as 2.5 Men, in addition to The Big Bang Theory. Fans who enjoy delving further into the show's universe will find these oddball cards to be a hidden treasure. The science joke in the intro song. Did you know that Bare Naked Lady's beloved theme song for Big Bang Theory is full of witty scientific allusions? For its nerdy humor, one line in particular, autotrophs began to drool, stands out. Since autotrophs, such as plants and algae, are self-sufficient beings that make their food through photosynthesis, the notion that they are drooling is ridiculous and amusing. This joke, which combines precise language with humorous images, is a light-hearted homage to the show's scientific subject. In less than 30 seconds, the song's lyrics recount the universe's history, and this line exemplifies the show's fusion of fun and intellectual brilliance. The series' popularity among viewers of different backgrounds can partly be attributed to the writer's dedication to including real science in even the most minor aspects. Regardless of your interest in biology, this witty line elevates a theme song already brimming with charm. Kevin Sussman's comic book roots. Fans may believe that Kevin Sussman has lived the part of Stewart, the somewhat destitute comic book store owner, and they would be correct. Sussman worked at a genuine comic book store before he became an actor. He gained first-hand knowledge of comic book culture from his time, including nerdy arguments and the quirky patrons of these stores. Sussman's experience gave Stewart's character, who acts as comedic relief and a symbol of the less glamorous aspects of geekdom, a more authentic feel. Fans who enjoy underdog tales find resonance in Stewart's sardonic humor and sporadic self-deprecating comments about his store's difficulties. Stewart's narrative is made even more enjoyable by Sussman's ability to bring his personal experiences to the part, whether he's holding a midnight comic release party or inadvertently becoming a member of the gang's social circle. It's an art that mimics life in the cutest way imaginable. Sheldon's Theremin skills. Many people consider the theremin to be one of the most complex instruments to play because it requires precise hand movements to manipulate sound waves without making physical touch. Jim Parsons isn't just acting when Sheldon plays his oddball, depressing tunes on the theremin. He's playing. Parsons took the time to become proficient with this uncommon instrument, which gave Sheldon's persona even more realism. Because the theremin perfectly reflects Sheldon's love of all things unusual and obscure, this attention to detail demonstrates his unconventional genius. Sheldon's performances on the theremin combine humor and musical prowess in entertaining and unforgettable moments. These scenes highlight the series because the instrument's strange, otherworldly tone perfectly expresses Sheldon's unique personality. Parsons' commitment to becoming an expert theremin shows how far actors and crew went to make the program as realistic as it was enjoyable. The original title. Consider viewing the television program Lenny, Penny, and Kenny. Isn't that awkward? That was the Big Bang Theory's initial working title. Fortunately, the show's makers changed the name to something that better reflected the show's academic tone and scientific comedy. The decision to switch to The Big Bang Theory was brilliant, since it captured the humor and nerd culture of the show. The name alludes to the explosive dynamics between the characters, while also playing on the cosmological idea. Under its original title, which sounds more like a children's program than a sitcom for all ages, it's difficult to envision the show having the same cultural influence. This choice emphasizes how crucial branding is and how even a tiny adjustment can considerably impact. The Big Bang Theory is now widely associated with nerdy humor, demonstrating that initial impressions may sometimes be crucial. Wolowitz's familiar house. It may surprise fans of The Big Bang Theory that Howard Wolowitz's house has a hidden past. It was used in the beloved sitcom Everybody Loves Raymond. Even if the interiors differ, viewers familiar with the 1996 series will immediately recognize the exterior views. Television frequently reuses sets this way, lowering production costs while subtly evoking nostalgia. Because of its retro design, loud mother's voice, and oddball furniture that captures his distinct personality, Howard's home is memorable to viewers of The Big Bang Theory. Finding this link between two well-loved sitcoms is a fun Easter egg for Everybody Loves Raymond lovers. It's incredible how one house can symbolize completely distinct worlds, from Howard's embarrassing antics to Raymond's family strife. Wolowitz's house takes on a new significance due to this shared past, becoming a representation of the comedy legacy. Sheldon doesn't drive. The Big Bang Theory makes fun of Sheldon Cooper's inability to drive. His dislike of driving contributes to his eccentric nature, whether he is carpooling with Leonard or depending on Penny for rides. Interestingly, Jim Parsons' real-life inclination to avoid the passenger seat is reflected in this character feature. Parsons has disclosed that driving is more comfortable because he gets motion sickness when riding in automobiles. It seems apparent to translate this into Sheldon's persona and create opportunities for humorous scenarios. Who can forget Sheldon's comically harsh criticisms of the passenger seat or his attempts to operate simulators? Using this real-life fact, the show maintains Sheldon's character while adding realism. It's the ideal illustration of how the authors used real-life experiences to create relatable, heart-pounding scenes. The show's notable element, which combines on-screen humor with personal experience, is Parsons' uneasiness with automobile rides. The QR code in Stewart's comic book store. If you have ever stopped to look at Stewart's comic book store's specifics, you may have seen a QR code in the background. The intriguing thing is that this isn't only a random prop. It is a working QR code that opens the Pasadena Comic Book Center website. An excellent illustration of the show's commitment to realism and its fondness for self-referential humor is this ingenious Easter egg. By incorporating this helpful detail, the designers create an interactive feature that goes beyond the screen and rewards astute fans who take the time to scan it. The website connects fans to the world of The Big Bang Theory by paying homage to the comic book culture the program honors. More than just a set piece, Stewart's store is a center of nerdy nostalgia, and this QR code gives an already rich setting an additional degree of authenticity. Sheldon and Leonard's names. Despite being well-known figures in television history, Sheldon Cooper and Leonard Hofstadter secretly pay tribute to Sheldon Leonard, a television star. Leonard was a pioneering actor, producer, and director who contributed to iconic programs including The Andy Griffith Show and The Dick Van Dyke Show. The Big Bang Theory's creators honored his enormous achievements in the entertainment business by naming their main characters after him. This subtle yet significant homage reflects the show's strong ties to television history. This connection provides a deeper appreciation for fans who like learning about the history of their favorite series. Additionally, the names are a fantastic fit for the characters. Leonard's last name lends him a sophisticated air, while Sheldon's first name sounds as unique and quirky as his personality. The Big Bang Theory's world was meticulously crafted, as evidenced by this small detail. Sheldon's favorite number, 73. That Sheldon Cooper would have a favorite number, and not just any number, but 73, is not surprising for a sitcom known for its quirky humor. Sheldon explains why this seemingly normal amount is remarkable in one memorable episode. According to him, 73 is the 21st prime number, 37 is its mirror, and 7 times 3 is equivalent to 21. Sheldon's attention to detail and passion for science is reflected in his obsession with numerical patterns. The number 73 appears on many of Sheldon's shirts, another subtle way the show's wardrobe crew emphasizes this outside of the speech. This element highlights the show's dedication to its nerdy origins and rewards astute viewers. The focus on 73 even spurred real-world math fans to learn more about the characteristics of the number, making it a minor cultural phenomenon. This seemingly insignificant element demonstrates how the program makes even the most specialized topics amusing and relevant. Real physics on the whiteboards. The precision of the Big Bang Theory's science is among its most striking features. Not only are the equations written on the whiteboards in Sheldon and Leonard's flat not arbitrary, but they are actual physics equations that physicists have confirmed. To guarantee scientific authenticity, the production collaborated closely with Dr. David Salzberg, a professor of physics and astronomy at UCLA. The series' appeal to casual viewers and ardent science enthusiasts might be partly attributed to this attention to detail. The equations give the protagonist's scholarly endeavors a genuine feel by frequently reflecting on current research or real-world notions. The whiteboards visually depict the show's breadth of knowledge, whether in quantum mechanics or string theory. Finding these equations gives fans an additional level of enjoyment, and for budding scientists, it serves as a gentle prod to investigate the universe's secrets. This is just another instance of how the program combines fun with knowledge. Amy's apartment number, 314. Amy Farrah Fowler's apartment number, 314, is a clever allusion to the scientific constant pi, sometimes expressed as 3.14. It is more than just a random string of numbers. Pi, a fundamental concept in mathematics and a suitable reference to the show's love of science and geek culture, is the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter. This diminutive element gives Amy's character depth, reflecting the series' cerebral tone and scientific background. It's a fun Easter egg for math and science enthusiasts, highlighting the program's dedication to using real-world references. Amy's function in the series is also symbolized by her apartment number. She is an essential component that gives the group dynamic equilibrium and continuity. This seemingly insignificant element demonstrates how the writers included significant details in the show's plot, giving viewers a more engaging experience. Kaylee Cuoco and the Broken Lake Secret. Kaylee Cuoco inexplicably vanished from 2 episodes in Season 4. Although fans conjectured, the actual cause was discovered to be an injury she received in a horseback riding mishap. Filming had to be rescheduled to allow Cuoco's recuperation from a significant leg break. The producers kept Penny off-screen, stating that she was enrolled in a bartending course rather than incorporating her injuries into the show. This ingenious solution maintained the plot without highlighting Cuoco's actual circumstances. The episode demonstrates the program's dedication to preserving continuity while honoring the health of its actors. Interestingly, Cuoco's horse passion hasn't waned despite the accident. She still rides horses regularly. Fans frequently praise her tenacity, reflecting Penny's resolve on screen. Cuoco's bravery and behind-the-scenes flexibility transformed a potentially upsetting circumstance into a smooth aspect of the production. The real lives of well-loved characters and the work that goes into preserving television's magic are brought to light by this incident. The apartment's broken elevator mystery. Sheldon and Leonard's apartment building's malfunctioning elevator is practically a character. Making the characters utilize the stairs is a recurrent humorous element and creates a series of memorable situations. However, a flashback episode reveals the cause of its shattered status. Sheldon bravely rescued Leonard by tossing the container into the elevator shaft before it detonated. Still, it turns out that the elevator broke down after Leonard was testing an unusual rocket fuel formula. This discovery strengthens Sheldon and Leonard's relationship and offers a funny history. By juxtaposing their cerebral prowess with their defective environment, the damaged elevator also represents the flaws in their lives. Supporters value how the seemingly unimportant element of the malfunctioning elevator is turned into a plot point, emphasizing the program's talent for fusing humor with a moving narrative. It's the ideal illustration of how seemingly little elements in The Big Bang Theory have deeper meanings. The comic book store was a real set. One of the most recognizable scenes from The Big Bang Theory is Stewart's comic book business. Fans might not be aware that the set was painstakingly created to mimic the atmosphere of an actual comic book store. Real comic books, action figures, and souvenirs abound on the shelves. Many were given by Warner Brothers or purchased from nearby comic book shops. This attention to detail made the business feel genuine, which appealed to geek culture enthusiasts. Beyond its visual value, the store provides the characters a haven to connect over shared interests. Several plot lines, such as Raj's dating attempts and Stewart's difficulties as a business owner, also revolve around the comic book store. Its change following Stewart's financial challenges indicates the group's changing dynamics. The store is a beloved feature of the series and serves as more than simply a backdrop. It is evidence of the show's commitment to celebrating nerd culture. The show's record-breaking paychecks. Jim Parsons, Kaylee Cuoco, Johnny Galecki, Simon Helberg, and Kunal Nair, the primary cast members of The Big Bang Theory, were among the highest-paid actors in television history by the show's final seasons. Each brought in about $1 million per episode, demonstrating how well-liked the show was. Even more impressive is how the actors utilized their influence to help their co-stars, even if their pay became a big topic. The 5 main actors took a pay cut to ensure that Mayim Bialik and Melissa Rauch, who played Amy and Bernadette, received significant raises in 2017. This action demonstrated the cast's unity and dedication to justice. The pay was only one aspect of the show's financial success. Its syndication rights and retail sales generated billions of dollars, solidifying its place as a cultural icon. The record-breaking salaries demonstrate the series' effect as a business powerhouse and a television masterpiece, which will continue to shape industry norms for years. The iconic theme song by Bare Naked Ladies. The Canadian band Bare Naked Ladies performed The Big Bang Theory's instantly identifiable theme song. The catchy melody establishes the show's ideal tone, which condenses the universe's history into a few seconds. Many fans are unaware that their designers, who were also music lovers, explicitly approached the band. After reading Simon Singh's book, Big Bang, The Origin of the Universe, lead singer Ed Robertson was motivated to write the song. The song's fast-paced, humorous lyrics reflect the show's embrace of science and geek culture. Several takes were used during the recording to maintain the performance's lively tone. The band continued to be involved, performing the theme live at Comic-Con and occasionally attending Big Bang Theory events. This partnership gave the show's passion for intellectual curiosity a special touch of genuineness. As a reminder of the series' upbeat and instructive nature, the theme music has become nearly as legendary as the show itself. Sheldon's famous Bazinga catchphrase. Bazinga, Sheldon Cooper's trademark catchphrase, has grown to become one of the Big Bang Theory's most recognizable quotes. The term captures Sheldon's eccentric sense of humor and is used whenever he plays a practical joke or makes a snarky comment. It's interesting to note that the term was coined by Stephen Ingle, one of the show's writers, who frequently used Bazinga in a light-hearted manner to denote a joke. It soon gained popularity among fans after the writers included it in Sheldon's character. Beyond the show, Bazinga became so popular that it inspired products, jokes, and even a species of bee called Euglassa bazinga. Since Sheldon's humor frequently appears more innocent than scathing, the phrase also emphasizes his childish nature. It became a comic mainstay due to its frequent usage throughout the series, solidifying its place in the show's history. Whether you're a science buff or just a casual observer, you can't help but smile when Sheldon exclaims, "Bazinga!" Kelly Cuoco and Johnny Galecki's secret relationship. Kelly Cuoco and Johnny Galecki had their own hidden love story off-screen, while Penny and Leonard's on-screen romance was an emotional roller coaster. To preserve their professionalism on set, the performers kept their relationship discreet during their nearly 2-year romance in the show's early seasons. In subsequent interviews, Cuoco stated they maintain a low profile out of respect for their co-stars and work. After their split, the two maintained a close friendship, demonstrating remarkable maturity and dedication to the project. The believability of their on-screen romance, which became one of the show's emotional pillars, was undoubtedly aided by their real-life chemistry. Although both actors stressed that their personal lives never got in the way of their work, fans frequently conjecture about how their relationship might have influenced specific moments. This behind-the-scenes dynamic makes the show more intriguing, and it further captivates viewers with Penny and Leonard's love story. The whiteboards were always scientifically accurate. The work done to ensure scientific truth is one of the most intriguing aspects of the Big Bang Theory. Real scientists validated the equations and diagrams written on the whiteboards in Sheldon and Leonard's apartment, so they weren't just arbitrary scrawls. The show's science consultant was David Saltzberg, a professor of physics and astronomy at UCLA. In addition to reviewing scripts and providing equations, He also contributed to creating the whiteboard content displayed in the background of numerous scenes. Fans were moved by this attention to detail and valued the genuineness, especially those in the scientific community. The whiteboards were more than simply props. They were woven into the plots and frequently sparked discussions about engineering and theoretical physics among the characters. This commitment to realism made The Big Bang Theory stand out, demonstrating that a sitcom could be humorous and thought-provoking. For example, the board discussed string theory, quantum mechanics, and Sheldon's friendship algorithm. The inspiration behind Raj's selective mutism. Although it is based on a true story, one of the show's recurring humorous feature is Rajesh Kuthrapalli's incapacity to communicate with women without drinking. Similar conduct was displayed by a former co-worker at a computer company, which served as inspiration for co-creator Bill Prady. Raj's character develops over time as he attempts to overcome his fear, which indicates a more complex storyline. The program struck a mix of sensitivity and humor, ensuring Raj's difficulties were never made fun of, but shown as a real obstacle. His victories, like the first time he spoke to ladies sober, became turning points in his personality. Thanks to his unique blend of comedy and realism, Raj became one of The Big Bang Theory's most adored and complicated characters, showcasing the program's capacity to approach complex subjects with compassion and humor. Penny's last name remained a mystery. One of The Big Bang Theory's most fascinating mysteries was that Penny's last name was never disclosed over the show's entire run. Although her last name was the subject of extensive fan speculation, the designers purposefully chose to keep it a secret. Keeping her last name a secret, according to showrunner Steve Marlereau, gave her character a sense of intrigue and let viewers concentrate on Penny's character rather than her past. Her maiden name was still unknown even after she married Leonard and adopted his last name, Hofstadter. The actors and crew made a light-hearted inside joke from this innovative choice. Such a crucial feature is rarely omitted from a character in a program with such a long run, but Penny's exclusion highlighted her distinct charm and relatability. The absence of a final name did not diminish her character's depth. On the contrary, it enhanced her memorability. Since then, Penny's anonymity in this context has come to symbolize the peculiar and erratic tone of the show. Howard's signature belt buckles were handcrafted. Although Howard Wolowitz was well known for his vibrant clothing, his assortment of oddball belt buckles was a distinctive fashion statement. Many fans are unaware that most recognizable buckles were produced, especially for the program. In close collaboration with the production team, costume designer Mary T. Quigley created Howard's unique appearance, making it memorable and funny. Every buckle was carefully chosen or designed to showcase his unique style and engineering prowess. Howard's belt buckles, which included everything from superhero logos to piano keys, visually represented his persona. In interviews, Simon Helberg, who portrayed Howard, once remarked on how much fun it was to experiment with his character's daring and unrepentant sense of style. These extras enhanced Howard's eccentric charm and served as conversation starters in addition to being props. His buckles became a defining feature that viewers anticipated throughout the seasons, demonstrating the amount of care that went into even the tiniest aspects of the program. The actors formed a close bond in real life. The cast's genuine camaraderie was one of the factors that made The Big Bang Theory feel so authentic. A sincere connection beyond the screen was formed by Kaylee Cuoco, Jim Parsons, Johnny Galecki, Simon Helberg, Kunal Nair, and later cast members like Mayim Bialik and Melissa Roche during the show's 12 seasons. They frequently supported one another through significant life events, visited one another's gatherings, and commemorated anniversaries. Kaylee Cuoco referred to the ensemble as her second family, highlighting their relationship's significant role in the show's success. Their on-screen connection demonstrated this intimacy, which helped viewers relate to and like the group dynamic. The cast kept in touch even after the program ended, and several posted updates and nostalgic photos on social media. Fans felt that the friendships they saw on screen represented something genuine, and their off-screen relationships enhanced the narrative. Sheldon's love of Fun with Flags was a fan favorite. Fun with Flags, Sheldon Cooper's oddball side project, became a popular storyline and a recurrent gag. Sheldon, and occasionally Amy, delved into the cultural meaning, design, and history of flags in this fictional online series. Amy's sardonic commentary and Sheldon's exaggerated passion for a subject that many would find uninteresting made it so funny. To add levels of humor, the parts included wonderfully uncomfortable sketches and even cameos from other characters. The writers' desire to include more of Sheldon's unusual pastimes in the program gave rise to Fun with Flags. The portions were so well liked by fans that they inspired the fictional series to build real-life fan pages and trivia contests. Fun with Flags demonstrated the author's skill at transforming a trivial topic into a hilarious masterpiece while strengthening the audience's bond with Sheldon's quirks. It's still one of the most enduring jokes on the show. Kaylee Cuoco's onset injury became a plotline. Kaylee Cuoco had a real-life injury in Season 4 after breaking her leg after falling off a horse. To enable Cuoco to continue filming while recuperating, the author swiftly adjusted by creating a plot point in which Penny dislocates her shoulder while slipping in the shower. The costume staff cleverly clothed Kate in loose clothing to accommodate her crutches and cast, and the set designers adjusted her scenes to fit. The team's inventiveness and dedication to maintaining the show's continuity were demonstrated in this adaptation. Later, Cuoco disclosed that the experience strengthened her bonds with her co-stars, who helped her improve. Since her injury represented the unpredictability of real life, its inclusion in the plot gave authenticity. Viewers admired how the writers handled the matter subtly, including it in the show's humor and cadence without calling attention to itself. The apartment's broken elevator was a creative choice. One of the most well-known recurring jokes on The Big Bang Theory is the elevator, always broken in Leonard and Sheldon's apartment building. The protagonists were forced to use the stairs due to the broken elevator in the first episode, which provided numerous opportunities for humorous banter as they ascended and descended. However, the authors made this conscious artistic choice rather than merely including it as a peculiarity. The characters' interactions felt natural and fluid because the malfunctioning elevator provided a frequent venue for significant discussions, debates, and jokes. The origin of the broken elevator was eventually disclosed by the sitcom in Season 3, which included a hilarious flashback about Leonard's risky experiment gone wrong. The elevator's representation of the characters' shared past and their development throughout time was adored by fans. For both the characters and the audience, its eventual repair in the last season was a moving moment that signified the end of an era. The elevator evoked from a joke to represent the show's inventiveness and charm. Sheldon's Bazinga was inspired by a prank. Sheldon's famous slogan, Bazinga, it became a defining characteristic of his personality, employed each time he pulled a practical joke or a prank. Curiously, the phrase wasn't in the original screenplay. Stephen Engel, a writer, served as its inspiration by emphasizing the words in his jokes. It was so popular that the show's makers used it in Sheldon's conversation. Gradually, Bazinga took on a life of its own, showing up on memorabilia, goods, and even a real-world bee species called Euglossa bazinga. The slogan captured Sheldon's eccentric sense of humor and youthful excitement for mischief to perfection. The moments when Sheldon would say his signature quip, frequently accompanied by a cunning smile or a smug expression, were eagerly anticipated by fans. The word simplicity and how it was used in the performance made it memorable. Bazinga. It became a cultural phenomenon, solidifying its position as one of the most enduring aspects of the legacy of The Big Bang Theory. The science on the show was real. The Big Bang Theory's dedication to accuracy in the science depicted on television was one of its most notable aspects. Dr. David Saltzberg, a famous physicist, served as the show's science advisor, ensuring that all equations, hypotheses, and scientific terms were accurate. Saltzberg went over the scripts, gave the actors actual equations to write on the whiteboards, and even gave them confidence-boosting coaching on delivering complex lines. Fans, especially those in the scientific community, were moved by this commitment to authenticity and valued the show's meticulous attention to detail. Additionally, it gave the characters a more realistic feel, enabling viewers to trust in their brilliance and enthusiasm for their vocations. The science wasn't merely a supporting cast, but an integral element of the narrative, whether Sheldon was talking about string theory or Howard was describing engineering concepts. The Big Bang Theory stood off thanks to its dedication to realism, demonstrating that sitcoms could be entertaining and thought-provoking. Bare Naked Ladies wrote the theme song. When the Canadian rock group Bare Naked Ladies performed the catchy theme song from The Big Bang Theory, it quickly became a fan favorite. The song, The History of Everything, provides a concise synopsis of the universe's history in only a few energizing lyrics. After seeing one of the band's performances, the show's creators, Chuck Lorre and Bill Prady, personally asked them to write the theme song. The band's lead singer, Ed Robertson, wrote the lyrics fast after being inspired by a book he was reading on the Big Bang. The show's humor, science, and curiosity are well captured in the theme song's catchy energy and witty lyrics. As time passed, the song grew to represent the series, and viewers frequently belted it throughout the opening credits. Its appeal exceeded the program. Bare Naked Ladies even performed it live at events, gaining new admirers from the sitcom's international viewership. The actors earned record-breaking salaries. Jim Parsons, Johnny Galecki, Kaylee Cuoco, Simon Helberg, and Kunal Nair were among the highest-paid actors in television history by the time The Big Bang Theory reached its final seasons. Parsons, Galecki, and Cuoco made an incredible $1 million each episode for seasons 8 through 10, while Helberg and Nair later negotiated equal pay. The cast showed amazing charity and camaraderie despite their enormous accomplishment. The original five took wage concessions when Melissa Rauch and Mayim Bialik became regulars, allowing their co-stars to earn significant raises. This choice demonstrated the cast's strong relationship and respect for one another. The show was consistently among the highest-rating sitcoms on television, so the pay reflected its enormous success. The performers' compensation further demonstrated their importance to the series' success as a cultural phenomenon. The Big Bang Theory became a worldwide sensation due to their performances. The Big Bang Theory's set. The Big Bang Theory set designers put much effort into creating Sheldon's, Leonard's, and Penny's apartments as accurately and realistic as possible. The set for Sheldon and Leonard's apartments was based on a genuine apartment that the show's creators had seen while researching. With a dash of nerdiness in every nook and cranny, they wanted the room to feel lived in. Every element, from the elaborate design of the kitchen and living spaces to the bookcases brimming with comic books and scientific publications, were carefully created to capture the essence of the characters. Even the props, such as the intricate whiteboards covered with equations, were made to be both scientifically correct and consistent with the show's overall theme. The characters' houses felt like extensions of their personality because of the thoughtful design of these areas. The show's world-building was made even more entertaining by the fans' enjoyment of spotting small Easter eggs and visual jokes in the backdrops of these areas. The Green Lantern T-shirt by Leonard. Throughout the series, John Galecki's character, Leonard Hofstadter, often wore a green shirt. In reality, the garment was a tribute to the well-known comic book superhero, Green Lantern, and became a hallmark look for the character. The sweater was picked to pay homage to Leonard's comic book tastes and nerdy demeanor, rather than merely being a casual fashion decision. Like Leonard's character development in the show, the Green Lantern character is frequently portrayed as an underdog hero who battles evil with cunning and inventiveness. Being a future scientist and often the group's most socially conscious member, Leonard's admiration for the Green Lantern was a subtly appropriate decision that strengthens his identities as an academic and a superhero fan. By tying him into the wider comic book world that the show frequently referred to, this little but significant aspect of his attire solidified his status as the stereotypical geek. A unique secret code. At one point, the Big Bang Theory ensemble used a unique secret code when reading scripts to conceal some narrative points and keep stories hidden. This was particularly crucial for significant plot points like the growth of Penny and Leonard's relationship or Sheldon's eventual romantic connection with Amy. The purpose of the secret code was to prevent fans and the general public from learning about spoilers. Disguising important words or acts so no one would unintentionally divulge narrative aspects was part of the code. Occasionally, the producers and creators would also add fictitious plot lines, modify the names of locations, or change the names of the scripts to confuse anyone attempting to spy on their work. By taking these safeguards, the show's shocks were kept intact, and viewers were guaranteed to enjoy the significant revelations as planned without giving away any crucial details too soon. The program honored Star Wars. Numerous allusions to popular culture, particularly Star Wars, and nerdy humor have long been hallmarks of The Big Bang Theory. Over the years, the program paid homage to the renowned franchise multiple times. The group's participation in a Star Wars trivia competition in Season 6, Episode 2, is one of the most noteworthy moments. There were many allusions to the films in the episode, including a humorous exchange between Sheldon and Raj about the specifics of the Star Wars universe, including how a lightsaber works. Sheldon used phrases from Star Wars in his everyday discussions in one episode, and Howard dressed up as Han Solo for Halloween in another. The character's intense passion for the Star Wars series was demonstrated on these occasions beyond simple fan service, and strengthening their personas as nerdy but lovable geeks. By fusing comedy with recognizable nerd culture, the show's unwavering dedication to Star Wars made it a favorite among sci-fi fans. Carol Ann Susie voiced Howard's mother. Although Mrs. Wolowitz, Harold's controlling mother, was a recurring character on the show, she was never shown on screen. Instead, the character was portrayed by the gifted Carol Ann Susie, whose voice came to represent Mrs. Wolowitz's booming, persistent voice. Given how irritated and reliant on his mother he was, her commanding presence, often heard yelling at him from off-screen, brought a funny element to Howard's persona. Susie's comedic timing was essential to the role's success, and even though her character didn't physically appear in the series, her influence was felt strongly. Even though admirers never saw Mrs. Wolowitz's face, her voice was enough to make her a famous figure in their hearts. Given their crucial part in some of the most memorable Howard-centric scenes, Carol Ann Susie's performance was adored by viewers, and her contribution to the show was greatly valued. Unknown information for fans. There are many tiny elements in The Big Bang Theory's opening credits that viewers enjoy analyzing. There are many visual allusions to science and nerd culture in addition to the Bare-Naked Ladies' catchy theme tune. For instance, the animation depicts the Big Bang star formation and the evolution of life, all set to the song's lyrics and the beginning of the cosmos. According to fans, the characters' journey from the Big Bang of their life to their eventual personal growth and development is reflected in these animations. There are numerous subliminal Easter eggs, such as pictures of atoms and molecules, and visual tributes to scientific discoveries, even in the opening sequence's artwork. Fans who enjoy the show's nerdy side will connect with it more because of this attention to detail, adding layers of significance only thoroughly understood by those familiar. Assisted in reviving interest in geek culture. One of the first television programs to publicly embrace mainstream geek culture was The Big Bang Theory, which debuted in 2007. The show brought science, comic books, and video games to a broader audience at a period when these nerdy interests were still considered relatively specialized. What was initially deemed nerdy became fashionable due to the characters' passion for Star Trek, Star Wars, comic books, and odd scientific names. Due in part to the show's success, geek culture had a renaissance, which raised the profile and appeal of conventions, sci-fi series, and comic book properties. Because the narratives mirrored their hobbies, fans of various ages could identify with the characters. Since then, related material has become popular, demonstrating the show's unique ability to make intellectual pursuits attractive while providing a hilarious take on the social discomfort typically associated with nerds. At first, Kaylee Cuoco didn't like Penny's character. Although Kaylee Cuoco is now adored for her portrayal of Penny, She wasn't entirely satisfied with the character's initial premise. Cuoco wasn't first happy with Penny's writing. At first, the character was referred to as the girl next door, a conventional blonde who was a little ditzy and would act as a counterpoint to the more cerebral male characters. As somewhat of a nonconformist, Cuoco felt that this portrayal was restrictive and wished to give Penny more nuance. However, as the series developed, Cuoco collaborated with the authors to make Penny a more complete character with her objectives, peculiarities, and depth of feeling. As Penny's position evolved, the preconceived notions about her were dispelled, and she emerged as a fully realized figure capable of cognitively competing with the other characters. With Cuoco's help, Penny transformed from the pretty girl to a strong, self-reliant lady, becoming one of the show's most adored characters. The catchphrases of the show. Throughout its remarkable run, The Big Bang Theory gained not only a following for its memorable catchphrases, but also for its eccentric characters and amusing situations. Sheldon's well-known catchphrase, Bazinga, swiftly rose to fame, symbolizing his distinct personality and peculiar sense of humor. Fans and non-viewers frequently use this word, which has become embedded in pop culture, to draw attention to lighthearted jokes or pranks. Sheldon's roommate agreement also resonated with viewers, encapsulating his extremely regimented and rule-based way of living. Other well-known catchphrases, such as Leonard's assurance that, "I'm not crazy, my mother had me tested," or Penny's, "What's wrong with you?" became commonplace in the comedy industry. Soft Kitty, one of the most endearing yet funny tunes, continues to be a comforting symbol for fans. These catchphrases cement the Big Bang Theory's position in TV history and demonstrate the show's ongoing impact on our everyday vernacular. The TV nerd archetype. How nerdy characters were portrayed on television before The Big Bang Theory was frequently restricted to cliches, uncomfortable, socially awkward, and completely one-dimensional. The show defied these conventions by developing likable, multifaceted geek characters. Sheldon, Leonard, Raj, and Howard were more than nerds. They were complex people with feelings, desires, and personal hardships. Audiences found resonance in the show's emphasis on their friendships, relationships, personal development, and cerebral prowess. For example, a significant plot point that made Sheldon more than just his nerdy characteristics was his journey through relationships and personal growth. The sitcom praised the character's nerdiness, treating it as an aspect of who they were rather than something to be ashamed of. By redefining what it meant to be a nerd in popular culture, The Big Bang Theory helped make it more appealing and mainstream to audiences of all ages. A graphic allusion to his persona. Howard Wolowitz's clothes were carefully chosen to capture the essence of his character's personality and eccentricities. His love of the retro and the kitschy was referenced in many of his clothes, which the wardrobe staff meticulously designed to enhance the character's humorous appeal. The show frequently made fun of his fashion sense, especially his propensity to dress flamboyantly to win over ladies. Even if it was humorously overdone, Howard's sense of style also expressed his character's craving for approval. He frequently made up for his insecurities and wasn't as self-assured as he seemed. Howard's costume selections changed as he matured over the series. Once he married Bernadette, some of the more flamboyant pieces were toned down, signaling his shift to a more self-assured and grounded person. Penny's persona, an alternative history. Penny's origin differed significantly from what fans eventually learned when The Big Bang Theory was first developed. At first, Penny was expected to be a medical student more intellectually similar to the boys. To depict someone more relevant to the general public, Penny would be an aspiring actress who worked as a waitress, which was decided after talks with the writers and creators. Her character had more room to develop due to this shift, which also offered a distinctive contrast to the other characters who were all intellectually talented but awkward around others. Because Penny wasn't a scientist, the boys frequently tried to explain things to her that she didn't understand, such as science and pop culture references, which made their interactions amusing. Throughout the episode, Penny's grounded viewpoint allows for character development for herself and the rest of the gang, and a feeling of balance for the group. A new market for spin-off programs. Young Sheldon, a spin-off series, was made possible by The Big Bang Theory's enormous popularity. Sheldon Cooper's early years, including his upbringing in Texas and his college enrollment at the age of 9, are the main focus of this prequel. Young Sheldon's popularity demonstrated how The Big Bang Theory has produced a distinctive universe with lovable characters and easily expandable plot lines. Fans get a closer look at Sheldon's early years as young Sheldon delves into the beginnings of one of the show's most recognizable characters. Sheldon's relationships with his mother, brother, and twin sister were also examined in the series, offering a novel perspective. In addition to broadening the Big Bang Theory world, this spin-off showed how popular franchises may develop into several series that appeal to new and devoted viewers. Star-studded appearances. The Big Bang Theory's remarkable array of celebrity cameos, which featured real-life figures from pop culture, entertainment, and science throughout the series, was one of its most captivating features. These appearances increased the show's legitimacy and gave viewers even more reason to be excited. Sheldon Cooper, the self-described greatest mind of our generation, and Stephen Hawking, one of the greatest minds of the contemporary era, engaged in amusing interactions throughout Hawking's multiple visits on the show. In addition to honoring Hawking's outstanding scientific achievements, their exchanges were intellectually engaging and humorously awkward, giving Sheldon more nuance. Bringing his iconic presence to the series, Stan Lee, the renowned co-creator of Marvel's superheroes, also made a spectacular cameo on the pop culture front. In addition to providing fans with entertaining Easter eggs, these cameos helped bridge the gap between science, comics, and television, transforming The Big Bang Theory into a program that respected and appreciated its significant real-life personalities. Viewers were delighted by the cameos' interactions, which gave the drama more realism and increased its cultural relevance. Howard Wolowitz's character was originally very different. Howard Wolowitz's character was initially intended to be less likable and far more conceited. However, the persona changed dramatically after Simon Helberg was chosen for the part. Thanks to Helberg's comic timing and ability to make even the most embarrassing situations endearing, Howard immediately became a fan favorite. The original figure was a far more archetypal geek, frequently depicted as utterly self-absorbed and lacking social skills. Despite his shortcomings, Howard became likable and approachable because of Helberg's portrayal. Howard had surprisingly much depth because of his self-deprecating humor, close relationship with his mother, and ultimate development into a more self-assured and responsible person. In a gripping and comical character journey, fans watched his character change from a womanizing engineer to a loving husband and parent. The choice to make Howard less conceited and more likable turned out to be a wise one for the show's popularity. Penny and Sheldon's friendship. The intense friendship between Penny and Sheldon was one of the most endearing and surprising partnerships on The Big Bang Theory, even if Leonard and Penny's on-again, off-again romance was a central story point. Sheldon was the socially awkward, brilliant physicist, and Penny was the gregarious, socially competent woman from Nebraska. The two characters couldn't be more different, but as time passed, they grew closer and more respectful of one another. Penny was an unexpected confidant for Sheldon, who frequently alienated others with his impolite remarks and lack of social awareness. He learned a lot from her about empathy, emotional intelligence, and the value of human connection. In addition to being a source of humor, their friendship showed both characters' development. Their friendship developed into one of the most sincere and poignant dynamics on the show, whether it was Penny confronting Sheldon's eccentricities or Sheldon grudgingly taking Penny's advice. Supporters were pleased to see Sheldon confide in someone other than Leonard, with whom he had a close friendship.
If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon